Hello everyone, so in this video I'll be showing you how to find the period of when two trig functions are either added together or are subtracted. So I've seen this question, something similar like this, appearing VCA Methods Exam 2 for 2021. So knowing this is pretty important. Anyway, let's start. So what's our first step? How do we proceed? Well, first thing we have to do to find period of this function is we have to find the period of the functions that are added together. So in this case, we have to find the period of sine of 6x and cosine of 3 on 2x. Well, this should be a prior knowledge on how to find period of any sine or cosine function. Well, just to recap, we can find period or sine or cosine function using this formula right over here. So let's do that. So period of sine of 6x would be 2 pi over 6, which would be pi on 3, and period of cosine of 3 on 2x would be 2 pi divided by 3 on 2, which would be 4 pi on 3. Okay, now the next step we have to do is to find LCM of pi on 3 and 4 pi on 3. For people who don't know or have forgotten what LCM is, well, LCM is an abbreviation for lowest or least common multiple. Now, I'm going to use some simple numbers first to explain what that is before we solve this question any further. So let's try finding LCM of 2 and 3. So first thing I'm going to do is to list out some of the multiples of 2 and 3. So let me just quickly do that. Okay, so these are the multiples of 2 and these are multiples of 3. So next step we have to do from here is to find the common multiple. So our common multiples we can see here is 12 and 6. And which of them is the least common multiple? Well, obviously it's 6. So LCM of 2 and 3 is just going to be 6. Now, using this knowledge, we can do this question further. Well, before I do this, you might also ask me, why do we have to find LCM to find the period? Very good question. Well, the answer to that question is that what LCM gives us in this context is the lowest number or the lowest duration before the graph starts repeating itself. And knowing that trig functions have tendency to repeat itself after a certain duration. So what LCM gives us? It gives us the shortest amount of duration before the graph starts to repeat itself again. Okay, so using this relevant knowledge and concept, we can now proceed with this question. Okay, so finding LCM of pi on 3 and 4 pi on 3 looks pretty daunting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to denote A as pi on 3, and now this becomes LCM of A, 4A. Same thing, but just I've introduced A as being a variable to make it look a bit less daunting. Alright, so how do I do that? Well, for people who already understood what LCM is, they can easily tell that LCM of A and 4A is just going to be 4A. For people who didn't understand, well, I'm going to show you again. Well, let me quickly write the multiples of A. Okay, now what are our common multiples? Well, it's going to be 4A. You can clearly see that it is also the least common multiple, so the answer to LCM of A and 4A is just going to be 4A. Now, I'm going to erase this. Now we can easily substitute back A as being pi on 3 to find our final answer. So let's quickly do that. 4 times pi on 3, which would be 4 pi on 3. And this is going to be the period of this function right here. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed and found it interesting. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.